Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Master Debating. I'm Dane Richardson, joined by two of the most passionate Disney fans I know in Jack Casello and Dylan Patemry. Gentlemen, how are we feeling on this fine hump day?
I'm doing great, Dane. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to get going on this debate, and it's going to be quite a battle.
I'm really excited to figure this out and just get going, get the engine revving up.
You know, when we rehearsed this, these two were actually a lot more confident, but when we press the record button, all of a sudden they tense up a little bit. But we'll get into the question, and I want to ask you, who is the greatest Disney character of all time? Jack, I'll start with you. You went with someone that's larger than life, right?
Yes, I did, Dane. I went with one of the best characters in one of my personal favorite Disney movies in Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is a larger-than-life character standing around 9 feet tall, lots of destruction, and he's a character that's bad but wants to be good, and he has a good heart, but the characters within his game don't appreciate him. Immediate sympathy.
Pleading to Wreck-It Ralph, bad in the beginning, then all of a sudden he becomes good. But Dylan, you went with someone that has the need for speed, am I right?
Yes. Speed, I am Speed, Lightning McQueen. I mean, can you get much better than that? Ka-chow! I mean, so many great lines that come from Lightning McQueen, and Wreck-It Ralph just has his one dumb saying, I'm gonna wreck it. Like, what even is that?
You know, I'm gonna wreck it. Well, they both have their sayings. I would say Ka-chow was a little bit more known, but at the same time, Lightning McQueen really is known as kind of an arrogant character at times, and some people don't like him for that, right, Jack?
Lightning is extremely arrogant, and you could argue that in all of his movies, he has to relearn the same lesson 3 different times.
Ooh.
And that's just not great character development to me, and Lightning McQueen is a part of one of the worst movies in Disney and Pixar and Cars 2, and in that movie, he's not even the main character. He's replaced by Mater, and you could argue Lightning McQueen isn't even the most popular character within his own franchise.
Jack, I'm going to cut you off right there, but at the same time, I mentioned Lightning McQueen's arrogance. Yeah. Ralph has a pretty bad history too, right, Dylan?
I mean, yeah, he's tired of being the bad guy, but, like, isn't that his job? Like, other people are doing their jobs, and he just gets to complain about his? Like, what's up with that? Lightning McQueen does have character development. I mean, you see he learns his lessons. I'm not really sure where he has to learn his lessons about being arrogant in Cars 3. Also, I don't think we're debating about each movie. We're debating about the certain characters. So yes, Cars 2 might be a bad movie, but that's not Lightning McQueen's fault. He's still a great person.
I'm going to break back into the movie a little bit, though. Jack, you mentioned when we talked about this topic earlier that Wreck-It Ralph was actually a little bit more popular movie, and maybe that's because they have the most popular character.
Exactly, Dane. You said it best. Wreck-It Ralph won at the box office $530 million. Cars only $495. Clearly, Wreck-It Ralph is more popular. It's more exciting. Plenty of popular characters made cameos in Wreck-It Ralph, from iconic characters from Sonic to Pac-Man, you name it, Q*bert, so many popular.
When you say that takes away the spotlight, though, from Wreck-It Ralph, that he needs other characters to help support him up into popularity, maybe that contributed into the box office.
Not at all. It's just a quick cameo. They're marketed, but they're not made to be the stars of the show, which is what Wreck-It Ralph is. Mater is the main character of Cars 2. Not to mention all those ads that Disney made on commercials, Mater's Tales. Why doesn't Lightning McQueen get a little commercial? Why is it always Mater?
Well, we look at that, and that's Mater's thing. He gets his own spin-off show. A lot of times we see side characters get their own spin-off shows. Lightning McQueen already has the Cars franchise that he is helping and carry. And going back to your box office thing, we also noticed that Cars came out a lot earlier than Wreck-It Ralph, and we know that box office numbers have only been increasing as time goes on. So a little bit might have to do with when each movie came out.
The general value. Now, in the second movie, you mentioned Cars 2 was a bad movie, but Ralph broke the internet. Isn't that an issue, Jack, in movie number 2 for Wreck-It Ralph? Or
he broke it,
not a problem?
He broke it, but in the end he fixed it. And let's not mention, he went into the internet to try and save Sugar Rush. The steering wheel broke. He had to go in there to save it. Not to mention, he went on to make the arcade and Mr. Litwax all so much money because Ralph became one of the most popular YouTube stars.
But wasn't it true that she didn't want to go back into Sugar Rush, and he was trying to force her? In fact, he released a glitch into the other game so that she wouldn't be able to be capable in it because she was saying it was too predictable here now, and she wanted to move on to something else.
Whether that's the case or not, there was 12 other racers that lives were at stake, and their livelihoods were at stake, and Ralph had to save them, and he still did.
But was he saving them, or was he saving, what was it, Vanellope, I believe her name was? Was he going for those other racers, or was it strictly for Vanellope and for his sake?
The way I look at it is simply as this. Ralph saved all the other racers, and he gave Vanellope another opportunity and another journey, a new chapter in her racing career.
And Jack, I'm going to cut you off right there. We're almost out of time, so we're going to get into final statements. Dylan, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things I didn't even get to mention, like Cruz Ramirez, who he helped and got her career going when he figured out he was kind of done with his career, helping her out and then becoming the crew chief. I mean, honestly, all the special lines, selling merchandise, so many kids love him, and all I got to say is ka-chow.
Jack.
Look, all I'll say is this. Wreck-It Ralph, 2 incredible movies where he is the star of the show. He's played by the incredible John C. Reilly, and I'm going to wreck it.
Lightning McQueen certainly drives like Jaden Becker in terms of the speed, but Jaden has less control. Coming up next on Master Debating, Jeremy Goldstein argues that he's actually the mother of Aaron Hicks's child. Plus, Jaden Becker is dancing with a new mysterious girl at the bar, and Pete Johans begins his porn star career. All that and more coming up on Master Debating. Stay tuned.